Struggle is not the curse we often imagine it to be. It is the force that shapes us, the hammer that strikes the raw iron of our being until we become steel. To live without struggle is to live without growth. Every soul that has ever achieved something worth remembering has walked through valleys of hardship, doubt, and relentless trials. Struggle is the fire that tempers us, the storm that forces us to anchor deeply, the darkness that makes us long for light. And when the light comes, it is all the more beautiful because of the night that preceded it. As the great Frederick Douglass once said, "If there is no struggle, there is no progress." These words are not merely a reflection of history, they are a compass for our lives. Everyday existence is filled with unseen battles. The student fighting against sleepless nights to pass an exam, the worker pushing through endless hours to provide for their family, the dreamer rejected again and again yet still daring to believe. These are the quiet struggles that do not make headlines, but define the essence of human courage. Struggle builds patience, resilience, and above all, character. The easy road never carves deep strength into a person. It is the rocky path, the one with sharp edges and steep climbs, that brings out the hidden reserves we never knew we had. Think of the mountain climber clinging to sheer rock, gasping for breath in thin air, bruised and cut, yet still ascending inch by inch. The summit is not just a place of arrival, it is a reward for the countless struggles endured along the way. Without the mountain, there is no climber. Without the resistance, there is no growth. Struggle gives meaning to success because it forces us to earn it. The world's most beautiful diamonds are formed under immense pressure. So too are the strongest souls formed in struggle. We live in a time where comfort is often seen as the ultimate goal, but comfort never makes greatness. Comfort never produces leaders, inventors, heroes, or visionaries. Struggle does. Every invention we rely on today was born from someone's relentless fight against doubt, failure, and impossibility. Thomas Edison, when asked about his many failed attempts at creating the light bulb, simply replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His struggle gave us light, both literal and metaphorical. Struggle is not there to destroy us, it is there to reveal us. It reveals what we are made of, what we truly believe, how much we are willing to endure for the sake of what matters. When life presses you, when you are backed into a corner, when you have nothing left but grit and faith, that is when your true self emerges. As Martin Luther King Jr. declared, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy." Struggle is the stage where greatness is born, and each of us is given a role to play upon it. There are days when the struggle feels endless, when you wonder if it is worth it, when despair whispers that you should give up. Those are the most important days. Those are the days that decide your destiny. Anyone can keep going when the sun is shining and the path is clear. But when the road is dark, when your legs are heavy, when no one is cheering and the finish line is nowhere in sight, that is when persistence becomes power. Struggle tests us in silence before it rewards us in triumph. We look at history and see countless stories of struggle that ended in glory. Nelson Mandela endured 27 years in prison, his freedom stripped away, his body confined, yet his spirit remained unbroken. His struggle was not wasted. It prepared him to lead a nation into reconciliation and hope. Helen Keller, born blind and deaf, struggled against isolation and limitation, yet her story became one of triumph and inspiration for millions. She once said, "Character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experience of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, ambition inspired, and success achieved." Struggle is not an obstacle in the way of life. It is the way of life. And when you find yourself in the thick of it, remember this: the struggle you are in today is shaping the strength you will need tomorrow. It may feel unbearable now, but every hardship is equipping you with resilience, wisdom, and endurance for battles ahead. Life is not punishing you, life is preparing you. A seed must push through the dark soil before it sees the sun. A bird must struggle to break out of the shell before it can fly. Without that fight, it would never develop the strength to survive. Struggle also teaches us humility. It reminds us that we are not invincible, that we need others, that we must lean on faith, love, and community. When you struggle, you learn empathy for the struggles of others. You see the humanity in every person fighting their own battles. You realize that beneath the surface, everyone is carrying something heavy. Struggle connects us, uniting us through the shared experience of endurance. So do not despise your struggle. Embrace it. It is your teacher, your trainer, your silent partner in growth. Every sleepless night, every tear, every rejection letter, every failure is not wasted. They are steps. They are chisels carving out the masterpiece of your destiny. And one day, you will look back and realize the struggle was not your enemy, it was your greatest gift. As the Persian poet Rumi once wrote, try not to resist life's struggles. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Let your struggles open you, soften you, and illuminate you. For it is only through struggle that you will rise into the fullness of who you are meant to be. Struggle is a journey, not a moment. It unfolds slowly, sometimes painfully, like a long climb up a mountain where the peak disappears into the clouds. Each step feels heavy, each breath a challenge, and often you wonder whether the effort is even worth it. But the truth is, the value of the summit is measured by the weight of the climb. Without the exhaustion, without the aching muscles, without the moments of despair, when you think about turning back, the summit would hold no meaning. The view from the top matters because of the struggle it took to reach it. As the old saying goes, the harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. We often want life to be smooth, but smooth seas never made a skilled sailor. Imagine a ship that only ever sailed calm waters. Its captain would never learn how to steer through storms, never learn resilience, never discover the courage to face the unknown. Struggle is the storm, and in facing it we discover who we are. The waves crash, the winds howl, but when the storm is over, we realize we are stronger than we ever believed. And if we had turned back at the first sign of trouble, we would never have known the depth of our strength. Struggle is also a sculptor. It carves away the unnecessary, chiseling us into something finer and stronger. Without struggle, we carry excess weight, pride, fear, doubt, comfort. Struggle strips these away, leaving us leaner in spirit, sharper in focus. Think of Michelangelo looking at a block of marble. To him, David was already inside the stone waiting. His struggle was not to create David, but to remove everything that was not David. In the same way, struggle chips away everything that is not your best self. It hurts, but each strike of the chisel brings you closer to your true form. There will be times when you feel like your struggle is endless, when you are knocked down over and over again. It is tempting to surrender, to let go, to say that life has asked too much of you. But as Winston Churchill once said during the darkest days of war, if you're going through hell, keep going. Struggle is not permanent, though it feels eternal in the moment. Seasons change, storms pass, and what felt unbearable yesterday becomes a memory tomorrow. The key is to keep walking, to keep believing, to keep putting one foot in front of the other even when the road is invisible. The beauty of struggle is that it is universal. No matter who you are, where you come from, or what you believe, life will hand you battles. Some may fight against poverty, some against illness, some against loneliness, some against the weight of unfulfilled dreams. But within each battle lies the same opportunity, the chance to rise, to grow, to overcome. When you realize that struggle is not unique to you but shared by all, you stop feeling like a victim and start recognizing that you are part of humanity's grand story of endurance. Every great leader, artist, athlete, and thinker has carried the scars of struggle. Oprah Winfrey endured poverty, abuse, and countless setbacks before becoming one of the most influential women in the world. She said, "Turn your wounds into wisdom." That wisdom could not have been gained without the wounds, without the pain, without the years of silent struggle. The athlete training before dawn, muscles burning, lungs gasping, knows that glory on the field is only possible because of the private struggle when no one is watching. The writer who is rejected 100 times learns that rejection is not the end but the sharpening of voice. The preparation for the one, yes, that changes everything. When you are in the middle of struggle, it is easy to focus only on the pain, but struggle is not just about suffering. It is about transformation. The caterpillar must struggle to break free from its cocoon. If someone cuts the cocoon to make it easier, the butterfly's wings never develop the strength to fly. It is the very struggle of pushing against resistance that pumps life into the wings. Without the struggle, there is no flight. And so it is with you. Without the resistance, the fight, the break-in, and the healing, you will never soar. Struggle also teaches gratitude. When you have fought through hunger, you appreciate food. When you have lived through loneliness, you treasure companionship. When you have faced rejection, you celebrate acceptance. The sweetness of joy is magnified by the bitterness of struggle. Without the contrast, life would be dull, flat, tasteless. Struggle gives us perspective, teaching us to cherish victories, however small, because we know what it took to reach them. There are moments when you will feel like your struggle is unfair, like others have it easier, like you were given a heavier load than your shoulders can bear. But comparison only steals strength. Your struggle is tailored for your growth. No one else has your exact path, your exact purpose, your exact battles. And though your load may feel heavy, it is building muscles of resilience that will serve you in ways unseen. Remember the words of the Roman philosopher Seneca: difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. The struggles of today are strengthening the muscles of tomorrow. And so I say to you, do not despise the nights you cry yourself to sleep, the mornings when rising feels impossible, the failures that sting like open wounds. Do not despise them, for they are the very soil in which your greatness is planted. Struggle waters that soil with tears, and in time, something beautiful grows. You may not see it now, but trust that every battle is building the story of who you are becoming. As Haruki Murakami once wrote, when you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. That's what the storm is all about. You will not remain the same after your struggles. You will be wiser, stronger, softer in compassion, sharper in purpose. The struggle will not just change your circumstances, it will change you. And that change is the true treasure, because life is not only about what we achieve, but about who we become. Struggle is not only the path to achievement, it is the soil where purpose grows. Many people wander through life searching for meaning, but it is often struggle that points them toward it. A person who has known hunger understands the purpose of sharing food. A person who has known loss understands the value of love. A person who has known failure understands the worth of perseverance. Purpose is rarely found on easy streets. It is uncovered in the trenches when life strips away what is superficial and leaves only what truly matters. As Viktor Frankl, who survived the horrors of the concentration camps, wrote, in some ways, suffering ceases to be suffering at the moment it finds a meaning. Struggle is the harsh teacher that helps us discover meaning, and once we have found it, we can endure almost anything. Think of the artist painting in obscurity, pouring heart and soul into the canvas while rejection after rejection arrives in the mail. The world does not see the years of struggle, the countless drafts thrown away, the nights of doubt, but the artist's purpose grows sharper in that struggle. When recognition finally comes, it is not the applause that matters most, but the knowledge that the struggle revealed their true calling. Purpose forged in struggle is unshakable because it has been tested in the fire. Struggle is also the mother of innovation. Every major breakthrough in history began with someone struggling against limitation. Struggle forced humanity to build fire to chase away the cold, to invent the wheel to ease burdens, to create medicine to fight disease. Behind every invention was a problem that demanded a solution, and behind that problem was struggle. The very comforts we enjoy today are the gifts of struggles endured by those before us. As Albert Einstein once said, in the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. Difficulty and struggle are not the end. They are the beginnings of progress. But struggle does not only shape the world outside, it shapes the world within. It humbles pride, teaches patience, and strengthens faith. It is easy to believe when all is well, but real belief is born when life breaks us and we choose to rise again. Real faith is tested in the midnight hours, when answers do not come quickly, when doors remain closed, when friends turn away. Struggle strips life down to its essence, leaving us with a choice given to despair or hold on to hope. And when we hold on, we discover a hope that cannot be shaken. The most beautiful thing about struggle is that it is temporary, but the lessons it leaves are eternal. Pain passes, wounds heal, tears dry, but the strength gained from enduring remains forever. The person who survives heartbreak learns resilience in love. The person who endures poverty learns gratitude for abundance. The person who faces rejection learns persistence that carries them through future battles. Struggle leaves scars, but those scars are reminders that we endured, we fought, we survived. They are not marks of weakness, but proof of strength. We live in a world that celebrates success, but often forgets the struggle behind it. We admire the finished book, the winning athlete, the thriving business, but we rarely see the nights of doubt, the sweat, the sacrifice, the failures hidden behind the curtain. Every successful person carries a history of struggle that prepared them for the stage. J.K. Rowling, before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, was a struggling single mother living on welfare. She faced rejection after rejection before a publisher finally believed in her story. She once said, "Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life." Her struggle gave birth to stories that now inspire millions. Steve Jobs was fired from the very company he created, rejected and humiliated. Yet his struggle during that time led him to innovate in new ways, eventually returning to Apple to build one of the most revolutionary companies in history. His struggle was the catalyst for growth. He said, "I didn't see it then, but it turned out that getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me." Struggle often feels like loss in the moment, but in hindsight, it becomes the turning point. Struggle also teaches us discipline. It demands that we rise even when we do not feel like it, that we keep moving forward even when every part of us wants to stop. The soldier who trains in harsh conditions learns discipline that saves lives on the battlefield. The student who pushes through sleepless nights builds habits that lead to mastery. Discipline born from struggle is not fleeting motivation. It is a steady force that carries us forward long after emotions fade. As Muhammad Ali once said, "I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion." His struggle and training prepared him for triumph in the ring. In your darkest hours, it is important to remember that struggle is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that you are trying, that you are reaching, that you are alive. Those who never struggle are those who never dare. The one who struggles is the one who has chosen the path of growth, the path of courage, the path of becoming. Struggle means you are on the journey, and though the journey may be hard, the destination is worth it. Struggle is also a gift because it reveals the people who truly stand with you. In good times, many will walk beside you, but in times of struggle, the numbers shrink. Those who remain are the true companions, the ones who value you not for your victories, but for your heart. Struggle filters out the false and leaves the faithful. And though it may hurt to see some leave, it is better to walk with a few who are real than many who are not. Perhaps the greatest gift of struggle is that it reminds us of our humanity. We live in a culture obsessed with perfection, with the appearance of ease, with the illusion of flawlessness. But struggle reminds us that we are human, that we bleed, that we break, that we fall, and yet we rise. In rising, we find not only strength but beauty. Leonard Cohen once wrote, "There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in." Our struggles crack us open, and through those cracks, the light of wisdom, empathy, and courage shines forth. So when life feels unbearable, when the weight is heavy, when the nights seem endless, remember that struggle is not the enemy. It is your guide, your teacher, your companion on the path to greatness. One day, you will look back and see that the very things you wished to escape were the things that prepared you most. One day, your scars will be your testimony, your struggles your story, your endurance your glory. Struggle is the silent architect of destiny, the unseen hand shaping the outlines of our lives when we are too wary to notice. It presses on us with weight, sometimes unbearable, sometimes suffocating, and yet within that pressure something extraordinary is happening. Just as coal transforms into diamond under immense force, so too does the human spirit shine brightest after it has endured its darkest trials. Struggle is not meant to end you, it is meant to refine you. It whispers to you in pain, you are becoming, as the Japanese proverb says, fall 7 times and stand up 8. The essence of struggle is not in the fall, but in the rising. Often in the middle of struggle, we cannot see its purpose. It feels cruel, like the world is conspiring against us. But history and life remind us that sometimes the very thing we thought was breaking us was actually making us. Consider the story of Nelson Mandela again, locked away for nearly 3 decades. To the world, it looked like a man crushed, forgotten in prison walls. Yet in truth, he was being prepared, refined, and strengthened for the monumental task of healing a divided nation. Struggle disguised as punishment was actually preparation. He himself said, "I never lose. I either win or learn." And what is struggle if not the classroom where learning becomes survival? Think of your own life, the times you felt doors closing, opportunities slipping, relationships ending, dreams crumbling. It seemed like destruction, but years later you may look back and realize it was redirection. That relationship that failed made room for one that was truer. That job you lost forced you to discover talents you never knew you had. That dream that shattered cleared the way for a bigger one you would never have considered. Struggle is life's way of clearing the ground so something greater can grow. And yet struggle demands more than patience. It demands courage. The courage to face each day when yesterday nearly destroyed you. The courage to smile when tears are still fresh. The courage to speak of hope when all you see is despair. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to keep walking despite it. Eleanor Roosevelt said it beautifully. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You must do the thing you think you cannot do. Struggle hands you those experiences every day, daring you to face what you fear most. So you can discover that fear is not stronger than you. The great paradox of struggle is that it feels lonely, yet it connects us deeply to others. When you share your story of struggle, you discover that others nod in recognition, saying, "Me too." Pain has a way of uniting us, stripping away the illusions of perfection we all wear. When someone tells you of their struggles, you do not admire them less. You admire them more because you see their humanity and their strength. Struggle is the bridge that makes us human together. And though the weight of struggle may bend us, it need not break us. There are those who endured unimaginable pain and emerged as beacons for others. Malala Yousafzai, shot simply for wanting an education, could have given in to fear. Yet her struggle became her platform, her voice amplified across the world. She said, "We realize the importance of our voices only when we are silenced." Her struggle did not bury her, it birthed a movement. That is the hidden power of struggle. It takes ordinary lives and creates extraordinary testimonies. Struggle teaches resilience, but it also awakens gratitude. Once you have struggled to breathe, you never again take oxygen for granted. Once you have struggled through illness, health feels like a miracle. Once you have struggled with loneliness, companionship becomes a treasure. Struggle turns the ordinary into the extraordinary, opening our eyes to blessings we once overlooked. In this sense, struggle is a teacher of joy. It teaches us that happiness is not found in perfection, but in perspective. In the quietest moments of struggle, when the noise fades and you are left with nothing but yourself, you learn who you really are. You may not always like what you see, but that is part of the gift. Struggle forces honesty. It strips away the masks we wear for others and demands authenticity. And when you come through it, you carry with you a truth that cannot be shaken. You know what you are capable of, and that knowledge becomes your power. Let us not forget that even nature tells the same story. Rivers carve valleys through relentless struggle against rock. Trees grow tallest when they must reach for sunlight through crowded forests. Stars shine brightest in the darkness of night. Everywhere around us, the beauty of the world is born from struggle. Why should our lives be any different? The weight you carry now may feel unbearable, but believe that it is shaping you into someone greater than you can yet imagine. Struggle may be writing a chapter in your story that feels tragic, but every great story has its trials. And remember, the greater the struggle, the greater the glory that follows. The Roman philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. Your struggle is not blocking your path, it is your path. Walk it with courage, for beyond it lies the strength you are destined to claim. And when you do rise, because you will rise, your struggle will not only be your testimony, it will be your gift to others. You will inspire not because you had an easy road, but because you endured a hard one. You will lift others not because you avoided pain, but because you carried it and learned from it. Your struggle will give hope to someone who believes they cannot survive theirs. And in that moment, you will understand that your struggle was never just for you. It was for everyone your story will touch. Struggle is not only about the present moment of hardship, but also about the legacy it leaves behind. Every person who has walked through pain and chosen to rise again leaves footprints for others to follow. Your struggle is not just shaping your life, it is shaping the path for those who will come after you. Children, friends, strangers, perhaps even generations you will never meet will find strength in your story. When people look at you and see not perfection, but scars that shine with resilience, they will believe that their own wounds can heal. As Maya Angelou once said, "I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it." That refusal is the essence of struggle. Think about the people whose lives inspire us most. They are not the ones who had everything handed to them, but the ones who fought against odds, fell, and rose again. Mahatma Gandhi struggled against oppression, not with violence, but with perseverance, and his struggle moved a nation. Rosa Parks struggled quietly yet powerfully when she refused to give up her seat, and her struggle became a spark that ignited change. These were not moments of ease, they were moments of great struggle. Yet the legacy of those struggles continues to ripple through history. Even in our personal lives, the most valuable lessons come not from comfort but from conflict. The person who never failed never learned resilience. The one who never lost never understood the sweetness of victory. The one who never faced rejection never discovered the strength of persistence. Struggle is not the enemy of success, it is its most faithful companion. As Napoleon Hill wrote, "Strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. Without effort, without the friction of difficulty, there can be no true progress." The challenge, of course, is that when we are in the middle of struggle, the lessons are hidden. Pain blinds us, exhaustion clouds our vision, and we begin to believe the lie that struggle is meaningless. But meaning is not always revealed immediately. Sometimes it takes years, even decades, before we look back and see that the worst moments of struggle were the foundations of our greatest victories. What feels unbearable today may be the very experience that equips you for tomorrow's triumph. Consider the story of Colonel Sanders, who was rejected over 1,000 times before his recipe was accepted. At an age when most people retire, he endured struggle after struggle, knocking on doors that closed in his face. Yet he persisted, and his struggle gave birth to one of the world's most recognized food chains. His story reminds us that struggle has no deadline, no age limit, no expiration date. As long as breath remains in your lungs, your struggle can still birth success. We can even look at the world of sports for endless reminders. Serena Williams faced injuries, setbacks, and doubt, yet her struggle only fueled her drive, leading her to become one of the greatest athletes in history. She once said, "I really think a champion is defined not by their wins, but by how they can recover when they fall." The measure of greatness is never in avoiding struggle, but in rising from it. Struggle is also the birthplace of compassion. A person who has known sorrow understands how to comfort others. A person who has faced rejection knows how to encourage those who feel unworthy. A person who has walked through darkness knows how to guide someone else toward the light. The very things that tried to break you may become the tools you use to build others. This is why your struggle is never wasted. It may not make sense to you now, but it may one day save someone else. And though struggle can feel isolating, you are never truly alone. Around the world, in every moment, millions are fighting their own silent battles. The single parent working multiple jobs to provide, the student pushing through self-doubt, the soldier far from home, the patient enduring treatment, the dreamer chasing vision through rejection. All of them are in the struggle. This awareness connects us, reminding us that humanity is a brotherhood of strugglers. When you rise not only for yourself, but for all who share in the fight. Sometimes struggle is the only way life can get our attention. We grow too comfortable, too complacent, too willing to settle for less than what we are capable of. Then struggle arrives, shaking us, waking us, forcing us to dig deeper. It is uncomfortable, even painful, but it is often necessary. Without struggle, we would never know the depths of our strength or the heights of our potential. As C.S. Lewis once said, hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. The very struggle you wish would disappear may be the struggle that is preparing you for your destiny. And destiny is never cheap. It demands sacrifice, it demands perseverance, it demands struggle. Nothing of great value has ever come easily. The pyramids, the cathedrals, the works of art, the revolutions, the discoveries, all were paid for with blood, sweat, tears, and relentless struggle. And yet, because of that cost, their value is eternal. Struggle gives value to what we achieve, for if it were handed to us without effort, we would never appreciate it. Your story is still being written, and struggle is one of the pen's life uses to write it. The ink may feel heavy, the words painful, but the story being crafted is one that will inspire. Do not despise this chapter of struggle, for it will make the triumph that follows more meaningful. Remember the words of Khalil Gibran, "Out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls. The most massive characters are seared with scars. Those scars are not marks of shame, but symbols of survival." So rise each day with the knowledge that your struggle is not wasted. It is building you, refining you, preparing you. It is part of the great story of humanity, the story of people who endured, who persisted, who refused to be broken. One day, when you stand in your moment of victory, you will look back and see that the struggle was the very path that led you there. And you will not regret the pain, for it will have been transformed into strength, wisdom, and glory. Struggle is not your enemy. It is your ally in disguise, the force that pushes you beyond what you thought possible, the fire that burns away weakness and reveals strength. Every wound you carry, every scar etched upon your heart, every sleepless night spent wondering if you can endure one more day. These are not signs of defeat. They are signs of life, signs of courage, signs that you are fighting the battle that will define you. And the truth is this: no great life has ever been lived without great struggle. The heroes, the legends, the leaders, the dreamers, they all walked through the valley of hardship before they stood on the mountain of triumph. You may think your struggle is too heavy, that it is breaking you, but I tell you now, it is building you. The weight you carry today is strengthening the muscles of perseverance that will carry you tomorrow. The storm you are enduring is teaching you how to sail when calmer seas arrive. The darkness that surrounds you is shaping in you a light that no shadow can ever extinguish. Remember the words of Helen Keller: although the world is full of suffering, it is also full of the overcoming of it. Struggle is the proof that overcoming is possible, and overcoming is your destiny. Do not run from your struggle. Do not curse it. Do not hide from it. Embrace it, because within it lies the seed of your greatness. Struggle is the price life charges for strength, and if you pay it willingly, you will reap a reward beyond imagination. It is not comfort that makes legends. It is struggle. It is not ease that creates warriors. It is struggle. It is not luxury that breeds leaders. It is struggle. Every drop of sweat, every tear, every rejection, every fall is the currency of greatness. And the more you endure, the richer your legacy will be. Look at the world around you. Every towering tree was once a seed that had to break apart underground before it could rise. Every star we see at night shines because it has burned through endless fire. Every diamond gleams because it endured unimaginable pressure. You are no different. Your breaking will lead to your rising. Your burning will lead to your shining. Your pressure will lead to your brilliance. The struggle is not punishment. It is transformation. And here is the truth that will carry you when you feel weakest. Struggle does not last forever. Seasons change. Winter gives way to spring. Night gives way to morning. Pain gives way to healing. Struggle may shape you, but it will not hold you forever. What will remain is not the suffering, but the strength, not the tears, but the wisdom, not the scars, but the story. You will rise, and when you do, your victory will not just belong to you. It will belong to every person who hears your story and dares to believe that they, too, can overcome. So I say to you now, with every ounce of urgency in my voice, do not quit. Do not give up. Do not lay down your dream, because the road is hard. The hardness of the road is the very thing that makes the destination worth it. As Confucius said, it does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop. If you keep walking, even falling, even inching forward, you will arrive. The struggle may delay you, but it cannot deny you if you refuse to surrender. One day you will stand in some victory, and when you do, you will not boast of how easy it was. You will speak the ways you almost grow. Tears you shed in silence. The rejections that bruise your spirit. The failures that break your heart. You will speak of the struggle, because the struggle will be the very thing that made the victory sweet. You realize that glory is not about avoiding pain, but transforming. So rise now, even if your legs are trembling. Speak now, even if your voice shakes. Fight now, even if your hands are tired. Believe now, even if your heart is heavy. For every act of courage in the face of struggle moves you closer to your destiny. Every small step forward is a declaration that you are stronger than your pain, bolder than your fear, greater than your struggle. And when the world looks at you, when it sees the scars on your body, and the fire in your eyes, when it hears the story that you endured, it will not see a person who is broken. It will see a person who has remained. It will see a warrior. It will see a survivor. It will see a champion. Struggle is the road to glory, and glory is waiting. Do not stop. Do not surrender. Do not let your struggle be. This is your time. This is your story. Your day. You will not curse the struggle. Because it is the struggle that gave you the strength to rise. Rise. Rise until your scars will be. Rise until your tears become your testimony. Rise until your pain becomes your power. Rise until your struggle becomes your glory. Rise because the world is waiting for the light only you can shine.